Now, let's proceed to the Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, which means the events of the Philippine Island. It is a book written and published by Antonio de Morga and was considered as the most important works in the early history of the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. It was published in 1609 after he was reassigned to Mexico in 2-volume by Casa de Jeronimo Bali. The work greatly impressed the Philippine national hero Jose Rizal and decided to annotate it and publish in a new edition and began working on it in London and completed it in Paris in 1890. So, he had been rethinking the idea of Filipino not as a people who were equal to their Spanish colonizer, but a people with unique civilization that was destroyed by colonization. So, Rizal found the answer to his idea in Morga's book, and it was this book or this work that he decided to reprint with his annotation. According to Morga's Sucesos, the Philippines was not deserted and was actually inhabitable, and also he stated that beef and fish know its best when it was started to rot or stink. While in Rizal's annotation, first, he believed that Philippines was not deserted and was actually habitable, and second, Spaniards, like any other nation, treat food to which they are not accustomed or is known to them that it is disgust. The fish that Morgas mentioned is bagoong, which means salted fermented fish. So of course, Rizal annotated with a purpose, so here it is. First is awaken the unconsciousness of the Filipinos in their glorious way of the past. Second is correct what has been distorted about the Philippines due to the Spanish conquest. Third is prove that the Filipinos are civilized even before the coming of Spaniards here in our country. So, class, are you still listening?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let's proceed now. So Rizal took 4 months for research and writing and 1 year to have his manuscript printed. The annotation consisted of 8 chapters. So first 7 chapters were on the events during the time of the first 11 Governor-General in the Philippines. The last chapter also was focused on customs, anti-clerical, sociological, and historical. Next is we have the 3 main propositions in Rizal's new edition of Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. So first is the people of the Philippines had a culture of their own before the coming of the Spaniards. Second is the Filipinos were decimated, demoralized, and exploited and ruined by the Spanish colonization. And last one is the present state of the Philippines was not necessarily superior of its past. Rizal emphasizes that Morga was evidence and the primary source of the history in the Philippines. Rizal argued that Filipinos before has their own culture and did not require a new religion or civilization from Spain. By publishing his annotated version of the Morga Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, which is originally published in 1609, Rizal's intent was not only to provide the Filipino people their early history or pre-Spanish history, but to present to them their own authentic culture and identity. The significance of the annotation of Rizal is to let us know the fact that we are already civilized and have our own way of living and culture before the colonizer came, and we should be proud of who we are and recognize what we have right now.
And that would be all for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something. Keep safe always, and God bless everyone.
And see you tomorrow.